Yes guys, welcome back today to another video. Welcome to the George Benson Football Channel for 6 things that we learned from Bournemouth 1, Chelsea 2. It's the first televised friendly that we got to watch for ourselves of Thomas Tuchel's pre-season against the Bournemouth team who, let's be real, over the course of the past few seasons, they've been our bogey team. They're in the Championship now. The Vitality Stadium, not an easy place to go, but Chelsea go there, make 10 changes and manage to come away with the victory from behind. A sign that we might well do a Manchester United this season. Go behind and then come back and win. But at the same time, as the door slams closed, it's also not really a sign of anything too serious because it is the first real pre-season friendly that we get to see. Peterborough, that was just like, get the boys out there on the pitch, warm them up, have a little run around, and if you can bag a couple of goals, Mr. Wizard Hakim Ziyech, get yourself a hat-trick, and then we can be hyped about it for a few days. This is the first real game that we're getting closer to the season. Obviously, we've still got a few more friendlies to go, including the trophy parade against Spurs at Stamford Bridge, when we finally get to share the Champions League trophy with the fans inside of Stamford Bridge. So, in this 6 Things We Learned video, again, there is going to be some criticism, but I'm going to try and balance it out as best as I can. And then we're also going to focus, of course, on the good points of Chelsea getting a win. But before we do any of that, we are getting closer. Every single bloody video, we're getting closer to 200,000 subscribers. So if you can hit the subscribe button, turn on the bell notification so that you never miss a video. We've also got Chelsea news coming out later on today because, of course, we have made an offer towards Jules Koundé. We haven't actually made the offer yet because we're thinking about cash or Zuma. We're thinking about what we're going to do about that one. But Chelsea have agreed personal terms with Jules Koundé. And of course, he rejects Tottenham, waits for a bigger club come knocking on the door, and he's ready to leave Seville. But without any further ado, we're going to begin the 6 Things We Learnt video with a green box for Mr. Callum HudsonOdoi. There have been a lot of talks during this pre-season that when we see small clips or images from training or we get little statements here and there, a lot of the talk is that Callum HudsonOdoi is in the best shape of his career. And in terms of approaching a pre-season, he is looking sharp, fit, and better than he's ever been before. Which, as somebody who's always said about Callum HudsonOdoi, he's a ticking time bomb. He's getting ready to unleash the talent that everyone knows he has if he's given a run in the Chelsea team. And I think considering, as we know, there is so much strength in depth, particularly in attacking areas for Chelsea, minus obviously a striker, we know that Callum HudsonOdoi's game time is totally dependent on the way he performs. And I firmly believe that Thomas Tuchel saying that he believes that HudsonOdoi is part of his plans for this season. If Callum keeps performing the way that we saw in that first half yesterday during this pre-season, then I think Callum could well be in the run-in to start the season for Chelsea in the starting 11. Thought Callum was very good, the runs were good, he looks quick, he looks as sharp as everyone was saying, and even though it obviously wasn't blistering to the point where he tore Bournemouth to shreds, it was still a very positive sign from Callum HudsonOdoi, and we move into box number 2. And again, it's another man who is really impressing during the pre-season so far. We didn't see the hat-trick that Hakim Ziyech scored in the game against Peterborough, but again, in this fixture against Bournemouth yesterday, we saw Hakim Ziyech linking up very nicely with the aforementioned Callum HudsonOdoi. Box 1 and 2, I thought that the Ziyech-Callum HudsonOdoi link-up play was starting to look really nice. I think Hakim Ziyech is a player who we saw in big moments last season, he can deliver, particularly if we think back to the FA Cup semi-final against Manchester City. And in the pre-season that we saw last year, before the season began, we saw Hakim Ziyech, before he was injured in that game against Brighton, play an incredible pass that ended up us scoring the first goal of our memorable pre-season of whatever that was last year. It was the most unmemorable pre-season in history, apart from the signings that we made. But Hakim Ziyech is looking very, very good. And again, he's a player who a few weeks ago, you guys will remember here on GBFC, I was saying that maybe if Thomas Tuchel doesn't see him as part of his plans, we might see him move on this summer. And again, very similar to Callum, everything that we're seeing at the moment for a player that wasn't necessarily starting game after game last season, he's doing absolutely everything he can to make a claim for a place in the side come the beginning of the season next month. Thought Hakim Ziyech was very good again. We move into box number 3. And I deliberated about this one a little bit because I don't just want to look at pre-season fixtures and just like bypass everything like I said earlier, because realistically, when we boil it down to the meat and potatoes, nothing really matters in these pre-season friendlies. And sometimes it is, you see players losing a bit of interest. Sometimes you just see the stark difference between what we envisage Chelsea's striker situation being and what we saw last night. And I've given a yellow to Tammy Abraham. I don't want to make it a red, but he was getting into very good positions last night, Tammy. That was one thing I will say. But again, finishing just wasn't quite up to the standard that we'd like. And I want to bring it back again and home it in and very much emphasise this point, that even though it wasn't the best half of football we saw from Tammy Abraham yesterday, the fact he's getting into the good positions is a good sign for this moment in time. But I don't just want to ignore it, because obviously all of the stuff we're talking about here on GBFC is Chelsea's pursuit of a striker, be that Erling Haaland, Lukaku, whoever it may be. I think, again, in the game against Bournemouth yesterday, Tammy's finishing wasn't ideal. It could improve, but I want to bring it back to that point. We don't want to take anything too seriously at this moment in time. However, though, keeping on the theme of positivity, we move into box number 4, and it is the Albanian. It's Armando Briosia, who gets his 3rd start and his 3rd goal in these pre-season friendlies for Chelsea that we've heard of, be it behind closed doors or intra-squad friendlies. He gets himself a goal again yesterday, which, for considering obviously he had the loan last season, and it's looking at the moment with no striker coming through the door at Chelsea, if that situation remains the same, I've mentioned it already this season in the pre-season here on GBFC, if Armando Briosia has to be Chelsea's 3rd choice striker this season, then obviously there might be a bit of a reluctance to use him from Thomas Tuchel due to that lack of experience. But Armando Briosia scores again. And with a striker, it doesn't matter necessarily sometimes if you don't have that Premier League experience. When you're used to scoring goals and you're getting into the right positions, with the creative players that Chelsea have across all areas of the pitch to be able to provide for a striker like Armando Briosia, we will see very quickly that this man will develop in confidence. He will grow within any opportunity that he's given if he's given a shot within the Chelsea first team. Very, very happy for Broja. He's obviously signed up a new deal recently to keep him at Chelsea till June 2026. He's got the longest contract currently of any Chelsea player at the club, if you didn't know. But he gets himself a goal again last night, and whether it's Bournemouth, pre-season or not, strikers need to be scoring goals. And at the moment, it's 3-3 for Armando Briosia. So we can't be asking any more. But we move into box number 5, and again, it's kind of the closing up, but also the rounding up of the point I've made throughout this whole video. When I looked through social media this morning, because I watched back the match this morning, I didn't watch it live last night. I woke up, watched it again, screen recorded it on my laptop throughout the night, and then I look at the reaction on social media and I look at Twitter, and even though I've obviously given Tammy Abraham a yellow box in today's video, I've tried to do it in the most progressive way possible, as opposed to just calling the man out for being useless, which I did see on social media. You also see it with the likes of Baba Rahman. There are a couple of other players that just came under scrutiny. And I think at this moment in time, there is frustration within the Chelsea fan base about not seeing Erling Haaland come through, not seeing any other signings come through. And I always said here on GBFC, be very patient. If Chelsea are doing their business in silence, we'll find out about it when it's pretty much nearly done. And that is what we've started to see this week. I told you that Monday and Tuesday were going to be interesting. You guys should listen to me more often. But I've given it the box that I've given it because I think we just, as fans, need to relax a little bit right now. You know, if we see a bad half of football during pre-season, we don't need to, draw it on for the sake of drawing it on, But to wrap it up in box number 6, to kind of tie it all together, it's just a green light for the football being back for me, to be honest. And I will say one thing. At the end of the game yesterday, the Chelsea players and Thomas Tuchel didn't go over and appreciate the support, which I really hope is a one-off, and I hope it's just a mistake that they just forgot to do so. And I hope that this season we can really galvanise this team together and build upon what we did last season. With the fans being back in the stadium, Thomas Tuchel gets his first real welcome from the Chelsea community as a European champion. It would be nice if we can tie box 5 and 6 together, if we can just enjoy the fact that the football is back now during pre-season, and then when everyone's back inside Stamford Bridge for Crystal Palace at home on the opening day, we can all unite in unison in celebrating our Champions League triumph and hoping that we can kickstart a good season for Chelsea Football Club and go on and lift the Premier League come next May. But anyway, football is back, Chelsea are back, the season is getting closer and closer. Got a couple more friendlies to go. We've got Arsenal, we've got Spurs, and you never know, they might just throw a Wrexham friendly behind closed doors in there for a laugh, for our entertainment. So we'll have to wait and see. Good signs for Broja. Very impressed with HudsonOdoi and Hakim Ziyech. Tammy needs to do a bit better when he's on the field and given the minutes, but who knows what is happening in the striker department at Chelsea. We'll find out more as the days go on. But anyway, going to wrap up this video here. If you guys did enjoy it, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to GBFC if you are new, and I'll catch you guys later. Come on, you Blues.